Hey, everybody. Welcome to the SoCap Improv Comedy Podcast. I'm your host. I'm Ralph McLeod. I am the owner and artistic director of the SoCap Comedy Theater in Toronto. That's SOCAP.ca, SoCap.ca. That's our URL. We do improv classes for performance, improv classes for self-improvement. We also do shows here. We do a lot of improv, some stand-up, sketch. We are available to rent. You can rent us to put your show on. All this can be found at our brand new and very much better website, socap.ca. You can reach me at Ralph at socap.ca. That's the best way. Or admin at socap.ca. It really comes to the same place. And it's me, the benevolent dictator. As always, the SoCap Comedy Podcast is brought to you by a sponsor. Today's sponsor is Wexler's Beef. Wexler's Beef. Your mouth is in our hands. So check out the Wexler Beef Company for any of your meat needs. MEAT, if you're curious. All right. So in this podcast, we're going to talk about improv and improv for performance, improv for life. Why improv? Why take it? What does it matter? How can it help you? How can it help you in any way? And I'll just give you a real quick anecdote about how it's helped me. One thing that we tend to do as adults is we like to gaslight our children. Not in a mean way. I'm sorry, we don't do it out of meanness. We do it out of care. But we gaslight people all the time. And one of the things we do with children is when they say something like, "Hey, mom, dad, caregiver, I am going to school and I don't want to go because I'm scared." And 99% of the time, adults say, "Hey, nothing to be scared of," right? We take away their, we try to tell them that their concerns aren't founded. We gaslight them. We say, "You're wrong. I know you don't know what's going on." So our children supposed to trust their instincts if we tell them from a very young age that they're wrong. So here's what I would do. This happened to me. This literally happened to me when my daughter about 3 years ago, when she was about 5, said, "Daddy, I don't want to go to school." And I said, "What's wrong?" And she goes, "I'm scared." And I went like, "Yeah, of course. It's a scary place. There's adults. There's that kid that bites. There's it's a terrifying place." And I totally understand you're scared. And she laughed and she said, "Daddy, you're silly." And I said, "Get your coat." And she did, and we went to school, and no problem. So I avoided the fight. I avoided all of that. And I showed her that her concerns were legitimate because she wanted to be heard, right? That's what people want most usually, is just to be heard. I just want someone to take my concerns seriously so I don't think I'm crazy. So that's a direct way of how improv helped me become a better father, more attentive father that says yes rather than no, father who yes ands what her daughter says. And that's what I try to do. I mean, obviously, they're children, we're adults. Sometimes, I'm not saying indulge everything, but there's an example of I didn't tell her that her concerns were unfounded. I recognized them as legitimate. She felt heard, and that was enough for her. She was happy to go to school, and that was kind of the end of it. I mean, in the 3 or 4 years since, she, like most children, has voiced her displeasure with going to school, to say it at least. And that I'm also totally on board with. We can have a conversation about school institutions. That's not just school. It's not just school. It's institutions. It's top down central planning. It doesn't work. It doesn't recognize the people who are in the front lines, to use the war analogy, who know better what's going on. The people who day to day do the stuff, whether it's teaching in a class, whether it's policing streets, whether it's administering to someone's soul, they know what they need. That central planning tells them that they're wrong, and that's the way you relegate. It's a whole other conversation. Anyway, that's improv, and that's a real way it can help you. So today, what I was gonna talk about is Ralph's three rules for improvisation. Sorry, I should no. Well, let's back up. Not rules. They're not rules. If I had one rule about improv, so an unshakable rule, and I go back and forth. I'm not really sure if this should be a rule, but I keep looking for a scene that is successful that breaks this rule, and I've never seen it. So, in as much as I can say it's a rule, just because I haven't seen an example when it's wasn't when it's not there and it seems worse. That's agreement. An agreement that exists on the level of improvisers, on performers, and or if you're playing a game with someone in the real world, to agree. Oh, are we flirting? Oh, we're flirting. Oh, that's nice. That's cute. That's cool. Because if you have disagreement, one person thinks they're flirting and the other person thinks we're just hanging out being friends, right? You can see, oh, that would lead to some issues. Could lead to some issues. You know, obviously being honest can straighten those things out, but that's to do in a moment. So that would be my sort of rule that the improvisers have to agree on what we're doing. We have to agree that you're my dad and I'm your son. And we have to agree that I'm asking for the keys to the car. And we have to agree that you, as my father, are very skeptical because the last time you lent me the keys, I put the car up a tree. So we have to agree on all that stuff. Now, of course, we don't know at the beginning. That's what's going to happen. We only notice it as it's happening, as it's unfolding in the moment. We go, oh, okay. I am your father, and it's improv, and it's a car that doesn't exist, so I can give you the keys. You can smash it. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. But for some reason, I'm pushing back on that. I don't want to give you the keys. And why is that? Oh, because last time this happened. And now you've got a whole story that's unfolding and discovering in real time. At some point, we'll have a discussion about discovery versus invention and how discovery is exhilarating and delightful, and invention is boring and obvious and terrible. Not to put too fine a point on it, but in general, discovery is what we're trying to do. We're trying to discover our characters and discover what's going on and discover all these things about ourselves, our characters that we didn't know at the beginning. I like to think that the characters knew all along and they're just letting us know. Oh, okay. Turns out I'm a total knob. I'm the bad guy in this scenario. Oh, okay, great. Or I'm the hero. Didn't know that at the beginning. Didn't know I was going to have to be a narcissist and defend being a narcissist and actually say why being a narcissist is a great thing and that you're a knob if you're a stupid head if you're not. Anyway, to go back to what I was trying to say, 3 best practices, let's call them. What I like about them is there's only 3 of them. If you do these 3 things, your scenes will, by and large, be successful. There's way more other things to do, but these are like the 3 I like to really focus in on because if you do these 3, scenes and interactions with people generally go pretty well. And if you don't, it's difficult to see successful scenes. Maybe number 2 you can get away with not doing. Yeah, you can definitely get away with not doing number 2 if you have a strong game that we're playing. And we'll talk about games at some point. But right now, I just want to go back to the 3 things that are there's 3 of them, and they're simple to sort of understand, not so easy to do. Obviously, well, I shouldn't say obviously. There are, I mean, if anybody could do them, if I just told people to do these 3 things and they did them right away, you wouldn't need me. That'd be bad for me. Then I'd have to go find a real job. I don't want to do that. But if you do these 3 things or focus on them, you'll be successful. So there's 3 of them. They're fairly easy to understand what they are about, harder to do in practice. But what's nice about them is they're things you can control. I've said before that improv, like stoicism, we like to control what we can control and not worry about the things we can't control. So things that are outside our control are, will the audience like me? It's beyond your control. You can do some best practices that will give you a better chance of them liking you. But at the end of the day, it's beyond your control. Whether they find you funny, beyond your control. You can't really make, I like, everybody wants to be good, but that's beyond your control. There's no way to be good unless you think about the practices that will give you a better chance of success. So we go back to these 3 things. There's 3 of them. They're fairly easy to understand, at least on paper. And they are things that you can control and you can get better at them. It's a process. So I, as an improv teacher, am very process-based, very systems-based, not results. I don't care about results. I mean, I do, obviously. I shouldn't say obviously. What's with me and obviously today? I try not to be concerned with the results because at the end of the day, whether the audience has a good time or a bad time, it's beyond my control. Someone might be having a crappy day and they came to my show and they're just going to continue their crappy day. But what I can control are these 3 things. So, number 1, agreement, also known as yes-anding. I'm going to talk about yes and at some point a little more in detail. But when I say agreement, that we as performers or people in the real world. We're engaging in some kind of interaction. We agree on what's going on. So on stage, that's you're my father and I'm your son. And I'm asking for the keys to the car. And you're not giving them to me because last time I put the car up a tree. We agree on that. I don't think that you're my father and you think I'm a doctor. And that can work as long as we both agree on that. But that is a bad example. Um, we agree that you're my father and I'm your son. We don't disagree. I think you're my father, and you think that you're my doctor. Again, you can be my father and my doctor, but that's a different thing. Um, this is what I'm trying to say. We agree on who we are. We agree on what we're doing. We agree on the games we want to play. And that level of agreement goes can go very, very deep. It can just be at the level of who we are. It also we can agree on that we don't like each other. And then we can agree as to why we don't like each other. Because you're my dad, and you were in a band, and then I came along and you had to give that up and come back and take care of me. That would, it's a rotten thing to do. So we can agree. And that's what we really want to do. We really want to agree on what's going on. Who are the stakes? Who's our main character? Who's the bad guy? All that stuff, and that might sound daunting. And it is if you if you want to try to put, in real time, start making these agreements, and check them off on a list. It just happens. The nice thing is when you say yes, these things just happen and kind of get out of the way of them a little bit. The second thing that we can do is we can make choices, and we make choices based on how we feel in the moment. What's happening right now? How do I feel about it? I love it. I hate it. I like you. I hate you. Right. This is what we want to do. We want to make choices about how we feel that are tied to an emotion. So when I ask for the keys, your reaction might be alarm, concern, or frustration. Here we go again. Well, whatever choice you want to make, or relation. Oh my God, my son wants to drive a car. He's got a date. This is exciting. Martha, get in here. The kid's going on a date. You can be excited. You can be whatever you want to be, whatever. And then which leads me to number 3, which is we make choices and we do things that are fun for us to do. Us as the improviser, as the actor, right? In the real world, I flirt with somebody because I'm excited by that, because I want to, because I'm attracted to somebody, right? That's what you want to do, and that makes you more fun. And the same thing on stage. Oh, it'd be fun to do right now. It'd be fun to die a glorious death. That would be fun. In the real world, I'm only going to get to do that once, but on stage, I can do it multiple times. Or it might be fun to talk with an accent, or it might be fun to play a narcissist. It might be fun to yell at somebody. And it's very fun to yell at someone, in a way that is safe, because then when you improvise, it's safe, right? The way you can yell at your friends, you can call your friends all kinds of names, but since there's no intent to be really mean, it's fine, right? And sometimes you get mad at your friends and you say things, but I'm talking like the way we just goof around, and take the piss out of people. That kind of thing. That's fun to do, and that's fun to do on an improv stage. So those are my 3 rules. Oh, no, not rules. Sorry, 3 best practices, 3 guidelines. These are 3 things I look for and try to emphasize when I teach. I often come back to these 3 things. Like I said, there's way more out there to do. But as a starting point, that's good. And it's always good to come back and refresh those things if you've been doing it for a while. Which is something, we'll talk about plateauing and things at some point for sure. But for now, just come back to these 3 practices. Agree. Yes. This is the game you want to play? I'll play that game. Yes. We'll play the infidelity game, where one of us gets caught cheating and we have an argument about it. Do you want to play the breakup game? Great. We'll play the breakup game. Do you want to play the I'm asking for the keys, you're not going to give them to me because I'm a knob game? Play that game. So agreement. We agree on what we're doing, what's going on, who we are, all that stuff. And the more we can agree, and the more detail that we can agree upon, better. But at the beginning, just who we are, right? And then how we feel. Those 2 things. And it's really, it's like, you're my dad, I'm your son, great, and I hate you. We've got a great scene already, because you've gone on number 2, which is make choices. The choice to hate is great. Another world, but on stage. In fact, on stage, a lot of what we do, a lot of what I do anyway, when I teach people, is really how to be garbage people. Because it's so fun to watch garbage people, bad examples of parents, bad examples of children, bad examples of partners and spouses. Like, they're fun to watch bad people. Not people who are bad at their job, but just like evil, self-centered, self-righteous, narcissistic, psychopathic characters. They're fun to watch. And I think it's like going to the zoo and seeing a wild animal in a cage. It's like it's exciting because it's a kind of an experience, but it's not real, so it's safe, right? It's like movies, like why we watch. I love zombie movies, right? It's my favorite kind of horror movie, and because it's not real, I don't want to really be chased by zombies. That would be terrifying. But to see it and experience it, in a kind of a ersatz way, a safe way, is very fun. So, agreement, make choices. Premise three, do what's fun. Let's have fun. You know, fun, messing around. It's good. Like good natured misbehavior is very, very exciting and it's really nice for us. The thing about having fun, when you have fun on behalf of the group, it's exciting and fun. When it's all about yourself, it's not so fun. Then you look like a show off, like you're showing up people. So it's a way to have fun and misbehave within the group. It adds to the experience, doesn't detract from it, making it about me. Anyway, those are my three guidelines, not rules. I almost said rules again, then I caught myself and said guidelines. Three best practices that will make your scenes fly. And again, that's where we start. Those three things: agreement, make choices, do what's fun. All right. Have a great week, and wherever you're going, be safe, be well, be kind to people. It's tough out there. Bye.